This is Law of Attraction Explored. I'm Tim Grimes. If you'd like a free guide that explains the hidden link between relaxation and the Law of Attraction, or if you want more information about my books or my coaching, you can visit radicalcounselor.com. Enjoy the episode. So today I thought we would switch gears a little bit and circle back to something else that we often talk about. More of a meditational reflection or observation, and something that definitely does not have a clear, rational answer. In The Joy of Not Thinking, I wrote, "Those moments when you're beyond thought and time itself seemingly drops away, utterly blow away any idea you may have had for them every single time. You don't make it happen, it makes you happen. In such a way, the truth is always blindingly, brilliantly bright. And likewise, in such moments, we naturally ask ourselves the question, if everything already is perfect, what are we trying to transcend anyway?" What I pragmatically was able to confirm for myself, through my wayward searching, was that everything begins and ends with thought and no thought. When our mind really quiets down, we inadvertently drop into profound stillness and peace. We automatically realize that everything is already fine exactly as it is. Everything is fine already. Everything is perfect. There's nothing you need to do. So, what I wrote there is an observation, and it's more of a mystical observation as opposed to a law of attraction observation. As we've talked about in the show consistently, when we get deep, everything fades away. And there's no self. There's no I. And that's grace. That's God. That's the peace that passeth understanding. And so what does that have to do with the law of attraction? It has nothing to do with it directly. It's only afterwards, in retrospect, or if we take a step back, that we can involve the law of attraction with that totally unutterable, inexplicable, profoundly good realization. Again, in The Joy of Not Thinking, I said it's blindingly, brilliantly bright. That's God. But, when this happens, then afterwards, you realize that there's nothing that I have to do, and there's nothing that I ever had to do, because I am not real. And as I wrote, we inadvertently drop into profound stillness and peace. It just happens. Whether we have volition or no volition doesn't matter. God is always here. God is always peace. God is always perfect. That's a very profound point. Even just saying that now, I don't really want to say anything else. But because this is a show about the law of attraction, I'll try to tie it into some of these practical law of attraction concepts, as we have constantly been doing, because it's practically helpful. But again, to repeat myself, because repetition is how we learn how to apply these law of attraction principles. To repeat myself, that deep spiritual truth, that mystical truth, those deepest points, where there is no I, where there is no small self, that has nothing to do with manifesting anything. And that's always here. And that's just such a relief. And of course, relief really can't even begin to describe it properly either. It's just a word. We describe it afterwards with. If you didn't see the seminar that I gave recently, it's on YouTube. And I talked a little bit more about Lester Levinson. And we discussed a line of his where he says, "It takes no effort to be yourself." And self was with a capital S. It takes no effort to be yourself. It takes no effort to be God. Capital S self is synonymous with God. And it takes no effort to be what you are, which is this peace that we were just touching upon, which is inexplicable, and which we inadvertently fall into, whether we like it or not. But with this recognition, practically you can change things. And something else that Lester Levinson talked about is how things change in regards to recognizing that it takes no effort to be yourself. This is from a talk he gave called The Key to Constant Happiness. He said, "One must first recognize that the happiness is not the external person or the thing, but the quieting of the thoughts of desire for the person or thing, which allows you to go within and just be yourself, i.e., just be. When your mind is on things out there, you're not just being, you're being involved with externals. But I say the key is seeing just that point, that your happiness is the quieting of your mind through the satisfying of the desire, which stills the hunger thoughts for the thing and allows you to just be. When you actually see that in your mind, you can do it directly. You can let go of those thoughts without achieving the person or the thing, and immediately you're happy. It is important that you move toward happiness in the direction of where it really is, in you, not in the externals. In that way, you establish a state of happiness that is continuous." So what really interests me there in that wonderful quote in regards to what we're talking about today is he says, you can let go of those thoughts of what you desire without actually achieving the person or the thing, and immediately you're happy with just what is. In other words, we think that happiness is outside of ourselves. We think that if we reach our desire, attain our desire, reach our goal, attain our goal, we will then be happy. And this is just a lie. It's not true. Most of you listening to this already understand this. And it needs to be reinforced to us again and again. What you want is you. Or rather, what you want is within you. And it is inextricably connected to what I was referencing in that excerpt from The Joy of Not Thinking. The relief of recognizing that there is no real you in the way you think, and that all your desires for things external to you are actually false desires. What you really want, you already have. And we inadvertently fall back into that from time to time. And we can more easily align with that by recognizing that our thinking is not real in the way we think it is. Our desires are not real in the way we think it is. And what is real is right now. The Joy of Not Thinking talks about different ways of doing that. In this podcast, we talk about different ways of doing that, different approaches. But the point that I'm trying to make, and it's a very difficult point to make, is that there can be a lot of external bullcrap and pain and pressure and stress going on around you externally. And what you really are within you is not affected by any of that. Byron Katie, Jan Fraser, they both have written a lot about that, talked about that a lot. There can be crazy external stuff happening around you. But the peace that passeth understanding is not affected by that. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to look like a saint or a Buddha while all this crazy crap is happening around you. But it just means that, truthfully, you can. Because the truth is unfettered. And we're going to recognize this whether we like it or not, sometimes. And we can recognize it more easily, I think, if we accept what we are, which is not what we think, but something beyond that, something beyond our small self, something that is present, eternal, and intrinsically good.